The Bad Guys is a book series started in 2015 by author Aaron Blably, and it has quite a few books going up to recent date, and probably more to come, about animals who are bad, but try to do good, even though most people view them as bad. DreamWorks thought, hey, let's make a movie out of it. There's a long line of tradition for DreamWorks to make movies that are based off books, mostly children's books that not many people have heard of, like Shrek, for instance. A lot of people don't know that it's based off a book. Also, How to Train Your Dragon is based off a book. A lot of people don't know that as well. Maybe some people know this one, because they're doing an adaptation of this book. And the infamous Boss Baby is based off a book. You couldn't tell DreamWorks really likes adapting books. Children's books, that is. This is the most famous book they adapted, basically. The only time the books were well known in the movie is Captain Underpants. But anyway, we're digressing a little bit, way too much. Let's talk about The Bad Guys. So yeah, this is a movie I was excited for, even not knowing the book series, because the animation style alone looks really appealing. It's not dumbing it down for the audience. It has a little bit more of the adult edge, that not too much, but that DreamWorks are known for. Not sticking to really baby plots like Boss Baby or stuff like that. It's featuring adult characters who are dealing with things that they've dealt with before in DreamWorks movies. In fact, this movie has a lot of similarities with the movie Megamind, even though it doesn't do the job as well as Megamind in the plot point of a villain redemption arc. It still follows all the basics, and I'm a sucker for villain redemption arcs. And this movie does a pretty good job at it. About The Bad Guys, I gotta talk about Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because this movie changed a lot for CGI animation so far. The reason why is this movie looks nothing like any other CGI movie came before it. One, because it tries to do a new style, basically mixing in 2D with 3D to make a really beautiful movie with an interesting frame rate that is not the usual 30 or 24, and just changes based off action and movements to make it look more like a comic book. This style is becoming pretty popular, and it's been used in unique ways, and DreamWorks decided to do the same thing for this new movie. If you couldn't tell, this movie features a bunch of animals who are considered animals that people are scared of. Not me, because I love wolves and snakes and sharks, because I'm a weirdo, and spiders. And yeah, they're viewed as the bad guys, so they act like bad guys, commit multiple crimes. Basically, they're a criminal gang that likes to just rob as much stuff as they can. And I love the intro. It's just so relaxed and chilled. It's just like a really fun way to open up a movie before it gets right into the action. Just the two characters talking and just see how the rest of the crowd reacts to them rather than having to tell you about it. So they're just casually talking about stuff, about their lives, as everyone acts scared of them, even if they're not really doing anything evil. Which is pretty great. It showcases how the world views the bad guys, even if they're not doing anything bad at a particular moment. And then get straight to the action, which is just amazing. Just because I've been praising the movie so far doesn't mean they have any problems with it. There are problems. For example, one of the characters just farts randomly. Just when the character's nervous, it's not really funny. They think it's funny, but it's not.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, nervous about lying.
Sorry.
Other than the fad fart jokes, most of the jokes are pretty good. But you will notice that one of the other characters was voiced by a actor that a lot of people are getting tired of seeing. The character is Tarantula, who isn't a bad character, but her voice is really annoying. And she's voiced by Awkwafina. And for some reason, this woman is literally in every piece of media out nowadays. She's like the new James Corden. And yes, her voice is annoying in everything she's in. It makes the movie not as good as it could be by a little tiny smidgen of a point. She is really annoying. Like, why do people cast her? And this is not even her real voice. She just does that to I don't even know, it's not funny, so stop doing it. Stop it. Get some help. The bad guys make it out of their next caper, so satisfied until they see the news. It's the newly elected governor, who Mr. Wolf immediately gets a boner for, is like, these guys are a bunch of losers. And he's like, that hurts his image. By the review, or I have to talk about furry bait. What is furry bait? Well, anthropomorphic characters have been around for a very long time. But the attraction to them started, well, I don't even know when, but Robin Hood for 1971 is classic example. A lot of women wanted to make love to the fox Robin Hood here, and it makes sense. He's very masculine. This fox right here is a lot of people's sexual awakening. If you were a gay guy or a woman, this fox might cause some feelings inside you for some reason. Why? I don't know. People think he's attractive. He's got a nice voice, so I'll give him that. I'm not. The most remarkable examples of furry bait in recent movies is Zootopia, which made a lot of money, and a lot of furries went to see this movie. And it's pretty obvious to see why. They made a sexy rabbit and a sexy fox. You'd be like, what? They're not sexy. Well, some people thought they're sexy, because the Rule 34 does not lie. Despite the movie only being a year old, the characters of the movie have quite a lot of search results. And it makes sense. I mean, I'm not a furry, but, you know, I'd definitely smash this fox. Wink, wink. Now that weird segment is over, I just thought I'd explain why this movie became kind of popular in some demographics. Also, a lot of people wanted to make love to the wolf there, because he is pretty spicy. You know, I understand why. Do I? I said I understand why. I mean, I'm really digging myself a hole here. Mr. Wolf flirts with the sexy fox, just the regular fox woman whose name is Diane. And he's like, yeah, give me your ring so I can sneak in. Oh yeah, they're trying to sneak in to steal a trophy. Maybe the wolf guy isn't so bad because he saves his granny here. And Granny's like, you're a good boy. Or this grandma for later. Mr. Wolf actually likes good attention, but, people don't give him it. So his tail wags. He doesn't know how to react to that. You don't get a lot of good, positive reinforcement sometimes. Make sure somebody in your life, you give them positive reinforcement. Make sure their tail wags. Very important life lesson. So Prada farts again for some reason. Don't know why they decided it was a good idea for him to fart. It's not really funny. Yeah, he farts. Bad guys try to escape, but he loses under his pants, so they get arrested. That was a quick movie. You didn't expect it to end that soon. Well, just kidding. There's more to it. Guinea pig guy who is named Professor Marmalade, great name by the way, wants to rehabilitate all the bad guys at his has-been hotel. His mansion. It's not a hotel. Bad guys have to be good so they can stay the bad guys, but they're really bad at being good, if you couldn't guess by their name. Except for Mr. Wolf, who actually likes doing good things. And yes, they put him in sheep outfits, so he's quite literally a wolf in sheep clothes. Great. That's a great little thing that you won't even notice. Other things I could mention about this movie, just mostly little things, but I do recommend watching it for yourself. There is some weird things, like how everyone's like human, except for the couple of animals that exist. Like anthropomorphic animals, they're actually live action, not live action, I'll say live action, real guinea pigs for some reason. But other than that, everyone's a human and there are just a couple like anthropomorphic animals walking around. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's okay, There's a song number in this movie. I would play it, but copyright. It's actually pretty good because they got a Broadway singer to do it from Hamilton, if you didn't know. So pretty great. Upsets his colleagues very much until all of a sudden it does get stolen. This event, the bad guys are supposed to secretly steal this statue they're trying to get called the Golden Dolphin, but Mr. Wolf decides at the last minute not to steal it. It turns out the guinea pig guy is secretly evil and framed them because he knew that the wolf guy wanted to be good secretly. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and his evil plan doesn't make a lot of sense either, and the fact that no one suspects it because, he's a guinea pig. Yeah, I get the idea, but he's not really that well developed. They go to jail, and they have a fight, of course, because one guy wants to be good, and one bad guy wants to say bad. How could they be bad guys and one wants to be a good guy? So they have a falling out. Don't stay long because this mystery person here saves them. The villain is controlling a bunch of guinea pigs here to kill a bunch of people. Not kill, they're steal a bunch of money. I don't know why he needs money for it, but yeah, he uses the guinea pigs from earlier in the movie to capture Buddy. They drive into cars. Pretty good. I guess it works. Going on this finale, like car chases, a whole wave of guinea pigs are attacking. It's crazy, it's fun, it's better to watch than explained, so I recommend watching the movie if you want to see this full scene, or maybe watch some clips on YouTube. It's a bunch of chaotic fun, basically. Of course, the bad guys get together and say, we want to be good, but we want to save the people from this weird guinea pig guy. Even though we commit crimes too, but this guy's taking it too far. And the guinea pig man gets arrested, and he's framed for a bunch of crimes that he didn't really commit, but he did a lot of other bad things, so I guess it makes sense. It's actually very interesting because the movie ends with them getting arrested and them being happy with it. They're gonna accept their fate since they were criminals. But don't worry, there's an end credit scene, well, mid-credit scene that's very early on. It says, though they got out a year later on good behavior. Kind of cheesy, but yeah, that's the bad guys. I didn't go a whole lot into detail about certain aspects of the movie because I don't have much to say. It's pretty good. I don't have a lot of complaints. And it's pretty amazing. I'd recommend go watch it if you like what you see. Overall, I think The Bad Guys is a pretty well-rounded film. It has a couple things keeping it from being higher on my thing. It's a 4 out of 5. I would rate it a 9 for animation alone, but at the same time, there's a little bit of flaws, mostly just minor kid flick stuff. But overall, it's very entertaining and does the job very well. And of course, I think it's going to be a DreamWorks mainstay since these guys appear in their new intro, as well as the new DreamWorks card game. So it's going to say we're going to see a sequel from this franchise, and I would be sad to see it. Why would it be sad at all? So yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I definitely recommend watching it just for the animation style alone. Any type of movie that follows this style, I'd recommend watching. It looks great, especially on the big screen. And yeah, it's pretty good, pretty interesting. You know it does borrow a lot of cliches from our movies. I definitely recommend Bad Guys. The Bad Guys are at the top of the B tier. I said very close to a 9, with little flaws like crappy fart jokes, some bad side character voice casting, and some plot points that don't go all the way through, and a little bit too much cliches. But great animation, a fun but similar storylines to what we've seen before, but not in a while. If that makes any sense. And overall, just a lot of fun. It's takes you on a nice fun ride, and I definitely recommend watching the movie. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, I'd recommend it. Highly recommend it. Mr. Marmalade as a villain is definitely a mixed bag, or he appears high on the list, but really not so much. Just that some of the DreamWorks villains aren't as great as we'll lead on. Just because people think the S tier villains represent all the DreamWorks villains, that's why the DreamWorks villains are good. I'll bet the S tier villains are really great, but there's a lot of D and C and F tier villains, if you couldn't tell from my list. But yeah, he's good in concept. In execution, he's the weakest part. He starts off as a guy who just likes doing stuff that's good, and in the end, he's evil just for the sake of evil. The bad guys are bad because of society, basically. They like doing it just because. Professor Marmalade just does the same thing as them, just, well, because he has a twist villain. And when it comes to the tone, the performance is great, and the plans he does are interesting, but his motivation is very lacking. I wish they gave him some more motivation, because otherwise he just doesn't really work that well for me. It works, but at the same time it doesn't. So yeah, that's my whole review on the bad guys. The fox was hot, and I'll see you next time, which I'm very excited for, because that next movie is going to be one of my favorites of all time. I'm not even joking. It's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. See you then.